Hey guys, and welcome to another tutorial by Tutorial Grid. And on this tutorial, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating a molten lava texture. Yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. So this molten lava texture is pretty awesome. It's wrappable for 3D objects in 3D in Element 3D by Video Copilot. You can do all sorts of pretty awesome stuff with it, and it's just all around an amazing plugin. Amazing texture. So, but first, why don't you go ahead and go to facebook.com/AbbotProductions479. Give us a like there so you can be up to date with everything that's going on, including the awesome live stream 1 hour creation, which you can check out every now and then during the weekdays. I usually try to do it 2 to 3 times. But basically, we do things like this where we just take it and learn. This is actually a direct influence out of that show where I basically just live stream my creative process and I just create stuff just to create. And again, this is a direct influence from that show. So you get to see, how this was created. And then I create a tutorial out of it because I think this is something that's very, very cool and can be utilized in a lot of different situations. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So also make sure to like and subscribe to this video if you do like the video. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this. This is what we're going to be creating today. So right off the bat, you see there's a lot of movement. It's pretty fast, but it's this very glassy, molten, bright lava kind of look. Now, this is utilizing Video Copilot Element a little bit, but we will be just creating the textures, and then I'll show you how to polarize all of this stuff to where it becomes wrappable. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into it. So let's go ahead and create a new composition, and we'll just call this... molten 10 seconds 1920 by 1080 looks good. Okay, next we're going to go to layer, new, solid. Make sure that's a black solid and just call this texture. Make sure that's the composition size that you are working in, or else it might have some problems. All right, the next thing we're going to do is go and type in fractal noise. Now I'm using the Video Copilot effects console. You can get that from videocopilot.net, or you can just use the effects and presets area. I will be using either one of them. So yeah, if you see me just type in something, know that I'm typing in effects and presets or effects console. So moving on. Right off the bat, we've got a texture that is applied. If you've never used the Fractal Noise plugin, this is an amazing plugin to be creating any type of texture. There's a bunch of stuff you can do with it, and it's a very versatile plugin, and it comes directly with After Effects. So right off the bat, we're using a basic texture, but we're going to change that. So we'll go to Fractal Type, and we'll move that down to Dynamic Twist. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to mess with our contrast, and we're just going to boost that up quite a bit. So we want a lot of these little highlights and blown out areas because that's going to be our hot spots. And the next thing, so right now, I want to put that at about 160. That looks pretty good right there. And now I'm going to bring down our brightness because we need a lot of dark spots in this to create some very interesting looks. I'm going to bring that contrast right back up so I can bring back some of our highlights here, because if you notice, our blown out spots are now gone, but this is looking pretty good. Now we need to have this animate. So let's go ahead and mess with our evolution. Make sure your CTI is at the very beginning. Hit our evolution stopwatch here. We're just going to move this all the way to our 10-second mark. And I'm going to revolve this thing 1.5 times. Now you can make this as quick or as slow as you would like. In the original, I had mine a little bit faster, but I want mine to be a little bit slower this time. You can make it as slow or as fast if you like. Again, this is tutorial purposes only. You can make it look however you like, but this is exactly how I did it. So this is a little bit slower. So I think I like that. So the next thing I'm going to do is go to my effects and presets or effects console and type in find edges. Move that down. Now, right off the bat, we have this very weird looking thing. That looks really cool, and this might be actually another tutorial to come because we've been messing around with this type of texture a lot lately. But I'm going to go ahead and hit invert for this one. Now, off the bat, that looks really, really cool. Like me personally, I love looking at this, but this isn't what we're creating today. Let's kind of mess with our blend original, and you can see that it changes it ever so slightly. And I want to have some of that texture from our fractal noise to be moved into that just a little bit to influence our texture in just a slight little way. Now this looks like a mosaic painting almost, but That is exactly what we want. So this is looking really, really cool. And this can be a really neat little animated background. Move portions of this into 3D space and just make something like very, very unique. This is just a really cool way of messing around with this type of background texture. That's just another thing that we can do. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit save here. So this is looking pretty good right now. Awesome. So the next thing we're gonna do is type in Turbulent Displace. Turbulent Displace right there. All the settings are correct except for the amount and the size. So let's move this amount up quite a bit. And we are just basically going to make this look the way we want it. But I think we're going into the 500. Yeah, there it is right there. Our molten texture is complete and it's looking really, really, really good. All right, so our amount is very, very large, as you can tell. So in the 500 range, that's where our molten lava type of effect comes in. And you might want to mess with the size a little bit to get some of these other textures out of here, because we want to have this very shimmery type of look applied. So we can try to mess with the size, and it looks like size is actually making it look worse. Let's bring that down. Yeah, that looks real. Oh man, that looks nice. That's looking real nice. That looks really nice right there. Maybe move it up just a hair. That right there. That's looking real good. Okay, so let's go ahead and move that back and check out what we've got. All right, so we're kind of about halfway there. This is looking really freaking cool. I'm loving the way this looks. And we are actually just about finished. It's literally this easy to create this type of texture. So let's go ahead and type in our effects console or effects and presets and type in curves. Boom. Let's go ahead and give this a slight curves adjustment. It is a bit dark. We want to bring those highlights right back into business right there. Let's maybe take down our darks just a little bit because we want this to be fairly glossy looking. Maybe bring those highlights up just a little bit, about right there. And now let's give this a nice amber look. So let's go ahead and move up our red in our curves adjustment quite a bit and go down to blue and move that down quite a bit. That looks real good. That is a really, really nice texture right there. It's very, very like vibrant. I love it. Let me bring in some reds here. Give that real nice amber look. Yeah, right there. That's looking real good. Cool. Okay, so let's play this back. All right, so right off the bat here, we've got something just that is absolutely amazing. Like, I love looking at this type of stuff, and you can also create it to where this is a completely loopable texture, which is, you know, still pretty freaking awesome. But this looks really good. It's doing exactly what we want. It's got that very molten-y lava look, and I think we're just about finished. So that is how we create the texture. That's literally all we have to do. Apply this to a 3D object like Video Copilot element, like onto a 3D ball or anything like that. We will now do that now. So if you do not have 3D Copilot element, you can still follow along. If you have like 3ds Max, you can export this out the same way and you will have that wrappable texture. Okay, so this is for people with 3D applications or that want to move along with 3ds Max or something else to create this type of texture. Okay, so next thing what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pre-compose this. So right click, pre-compose, move all attributes into the new composition. We're going to type text, text, pre. Boom. All right, so that's going to bring all our stuff into one massive file there, but with no effects applied, technically. So the next thing we're going to type in is polar. Oh my gosh. There's a microphone in my way, so I can't really see my hands or anything like that. All right, polar coordinates. And we're going to go up here into our interpolation and move that up all the way to 100. Now this looks fairly odd, but you'll see what we are doing here in just a second. All right, so next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to pre-compose this element as well. So right click, pre-compose, move all attributes into new composition. Okay, and now we're going to duplicate this. So Control D. Okay, now go to our rotate tool, move this around. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to find the edges of this, either the bottom or the top. Usually I'll use the top just because it's going to be the easiest, and move up this layer right here Move that up quite a little bit right there, and go ahead and move this up to where it is right back into our scene. Move this down so we're not clipping here. Okay, and go ahead and add a mask onto our top portion here. And what we want to do is find where those edges meet, and it's about right there. So that's where our edge is going to meet right directly in the middle. And go ahead and make this mask from add to subtract. Hit F and feather that mask out just a bit. And we don't want to feather it too much, because if we feather it too much, we're going to see some of our black layer here. All right, so the next thing we want to do is go ahead and select both of those, precompose that right back down, boom, move all attributes into a new composition, and we're ready to go. So we've got our wrappable texture ready to go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add a new layer, new solid, and we'll call this element. So basically our texture is done. It is now a wrappable texture. You can apply that to solids or anything else, and that'll be put, you can use it in 3ds Max, you can render it out, and it's virtually ready to go. But just in case you were wondering, here's the element process. Control and space, or effects and presets, element, boom, bring that down. Go to custom layers, custom texture maps, select our pre-comp 2, and go to scene setup. Let's add a sphere here, and go to our diffuse layer, and load that pre-comp right there. Boom. We are ready to go. It is that easy. 100% wrappable texture in After Effects. That easy, said and done. Okay, and that's virtually about it. So let's go ahead and hit OK out of there. Let's go ahead and get rid of the glossiness on here. So this is just the added steps on how I got the texture to look how it was with element. Don't need an environmental multiplier. Well, I'll just keep it there. Don't need any glossiness. Don't need any reflectivity, intensity, and we want to enable the illumination, and we're going to use the diffused color for our illumination. So we'll just hit intensity, move that up to like, let's just do 150. That's gonna be good right there. Hit OK. Boom, we've got our illumination. Illumination. That reminds me of like South Park. Imagination. Yeah, I love South Park. Okay, let's go into render settings, go to glow, enable glow, and let's turn the intensity up just a little bit and glow radius up a lot. So boom, we've got our ball. That does not look that great because I think I'm in 8-bit right now. Just go ahead and move the radius down just a smidge, about right there. Looks pretty good. Maybe the intensity down just a little bit, about right there. Maybe up. Background glow. There we go. We'll do background glow right there. And let's turn on our highlights and highlight intensity. Move that up. Let's turn off our background glow. So we've got that. Let's turn down the intensity just a bit because that's quite a bit there. And let's go ahead and turn up our highlight intensity. We want to make sure that that radius is down fairly low. And that's it. That's all we got to do right there. That's done. And this is what we've created. All right, and this is our texture right here. We've got this molten lava type of texture on there. Looking really good. It's just very like metallic, melted type of look. Very, very cool. And you can always go back in and mess around with the texture if you don't like it or if there's too much or not enough stuff going on. But guys, that is it for this tutorial. Very quick, very simple way of creating a really cool, unique texture for a molten lava gold texture. So please like and subscribe to my YouTube page at Tutorial Grid. Also, make sure to check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/avidproductions479. Give us a like there. Like and subscribe to this video. Comment below what you think about it, what you think could go better, and maybe some tutorials you might want to see in the future. And also, just make sure to be awesome every single day. Keep creating, and we're going to make some more amazing things together. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and I will see you next time.